Hello everyone, this is Zeeebo and welcome to this AFK journey video. So Daimon has just been released on the VN server. So let's take a look at what Daimon kit is about and then maybe pull for one copy to do some initial testing with this unit right here. So without further ado, let's go into the overview right here. So this is the ability, Dolly Defender, okay. Spirit Guardian fights alongside him in battle, automatically attacking the enemies closest to Daimon for 90% damage, okay. So can't be targeted or attacked and is defeated when Daimon is defeated. So pretty similar to Lucy, right? Pretty similar to Florabelle, I guess. Commands Stitchy to unleash an X-shaped slash at the area with the most enemies, dealing true damage equals to 20% of each target's max HP. This damage cannot exceed 500% of Daimon's attack, and Daimon and his two weakest allies then gain a shield equals to 60% of the damage dealt. Okay, so it's based off the target's max HP. Okay, interesting. There could be some bossing potential if Daimon's damage is optimal. So playtime Plunder, passive, every 8 seconds, Stitchy unleashes a powerful attack that deals true damage to the target and adjacent enemies. This equals to 20% of the target. Oh, dude, there's a lot of targets max HP skill. So the more HP the unit have, like for example if it's a boss, the more damage it deals, right? And this true damage is true damage. Oh yeah, it's true damage. Okay, 100% of the damage dealt is then converted into a shield for Daimon that lasts for 8 seconds. So this is the passive part. Every 8 seconds he's able to unleash this massive true damage. And then for the active, Daimon drains 17% of an enemy's max HP and converts it into a shield for himself, lasting for 8 seconds. The shield value cannot exceed this 250% of his attack. Okay, so increase in level increases the shield conversion rate for the active. Okay, pretty decent in terms of the damage numbers, to be honest. Like Dolly Defender as well as Playtime Plunder. So Body Barrier forms a bond with the ally placed behind him during battle preparation. Whenever Daimon gains a shield, the bonded ally also receives 24% of that shield for the same duration. While shielded by Daimon, the bonded ally gains extra 15 life drain and 25% attack. If the bonded ally is defeated, Daimon will automatically immediately bond with the weakest ally. Okay. This is actually pretty impressive, to be honest. Because Daimon has two abilities that shields himself, right? So assuming you get Dolly Defender off, you shield two of your weakest ally, and two of the weakest ally is not the weakest, not the bonded ally itself, then your bonded ally will also get a shield because Daimon gains a shield. And on top of that, because the second skill right here has the additional shield generation, so additional protection for the ally as well. Probably really good for PvP. On a Dream Realm side, I think an early to mid game where survival is important, this could be of some use because there's still this 25% attack buff, and Ludovic as well as Shamira is a thing. So there could be this potential where you're able to protect your ally and then buff them at the same time with Daimon as the frontliner. Okay. Hero Focus reduces damage taken, while shielded he further reduces damage taken by an extra 7%. So a whole bunch of shield for Daimon. So I think shielding team could be a thing for him, right? Depending on what game mode we are looking at. So EX weapon, Guardian Growl. Whenever Daimon's cumulative damage taken and shield value loss combined exceeds 70% of his max HP, Stitchy returns to him and let out a terrifying roar. Okay. Frightening enemies within 3 tiles, and an enemy who dealt the most damage to Daimon will be frightened. So frightened, afraid to get close to the castle, so they'll fly away, similar to Barrow's Frightened. The effect lasts for 2 seconds and trigger once every 10 seconds. Okay. Cumulative damage taken and shield value loss combined exceeds 70%. So like basically 70% HP loss based off the shield value or his total HP every 10 seconds. So you want sustain with Daimon such that he's able to spam this in a long drawn out fight. Yeah, especially in the PvP side, I think. Because you want to heal him back up so that he's able to have, I'll say, a healthy amount of HP and then generate his own shield and then continuously take damage to lose the shield and the HP to get this Guardian Growl going. Okay. So level 2... Okay, level 2 reduces the threshold from 70% to 50%. It's actually pretty big. Yeah, 20% is big. It means that it's a lot easier to trigger and it requires lesser sustain to sort of bump up the damage because 70% might actually take really long. 50% is big. Yeah. Stygian Roar unleashes deafening shockwaves, affecting enemies within 3 tiles, and an enemy who dealt the most damage to Daimon. Okay, blah blah blah. The roar deals damage equals to 5% of each enemy's max HP every 0.5 seconds for 2 seconds. So about 20%. Assuming there's no reduction. This damage cannot exceed 100% of his attack, and then converts 100% of the damage dealt to a shield for Daimon. So even more defensive shielding for Daimon himself. Okay, this is actually, I'll say, good. Like additional damage, everything. Basically, Daimon has a lot of damage source right here. And then Enhanced Force, when an allied hero shield expire, converts 50% of the remaining shield into healing for that hero. This is actually pretty sick, because a lot of shields in... And this is when an allied hero shield expires. So this doesn't mean that it must be a shielding from Daimon itself. It could be a shielding from like other sources like Hugin, like Koko, or if let's say the units have some self-shielding ability like Shamira, for example. This is actually pretty sick with those kind of combos itself. So without further ado, let's take a look at what this unit does in the trial stage. Okay, so summons Dolly right here. So it seems like this door doesn't have any HP. So I'm assuming you can't actually buff this door like as an individual unit, but you can actually buff Daimon such that maybe the door does more damage. So that's the ultimate, does damage, gets a massive shield. Okay, so that's the growl. Once Daimon takes sufficient damage right here. Okay, so there is this shield generation. Oh, to be really honest, this growl might actually be a thing that's relatively spammable in PvP, cause like every 10 seconds I think you're able to get this. Like it's not a one-time thing, so this is definitely a lot stronger compared to Callan, because Callan's growl is a one-time thing. Like it's like a burst control, right? This is like a continuous control if you're able to hang around on the battlefield right here. Really sick stuff. So Daimon right here, let's level up our account, and then Daimon's charm. Okay. Oh, we can actually buy the charm set. Oh, okay. That might actually be a bonus for him, because this is a full set right now. Let's take a look at the ability right here. When the battle start, gains 90 haste for 15 seconds. The haste buff decreases by 6 per second, while the haste bonus is active, also increases energy recovery rate by 20%. Ooh. Haste for a shield and damage centric tank is actually going to be quite good, but how good will it be? That will be something that I think I want to test. I think this could be actually a godlike tank right here, because it's true damage, right? But will it be better than HP percentage damage from Fresto? I think this is gonna be like this brand new damage dealing tank with additional shielding. Lesser utility because there's not that much buff except for this one here. Technically it's the same as Fresto, because Fresto is 1 damage reduction and 1 energy regen, whereas Daimon is just flat out attack buff and life drain, which could actually be better in certain situations with the boosted survival from the shield itself, and also this utility from this part. So let's without further ado jump into a AFK stage just to sort of see how well he can perform at 1 copy. So we'll claim everything and then level up the units first. Okay, so right here, let's claim everything and then we're gonna level up. So all my units are sort of maxed out. Let's take a look at what Daimon can do for the team right here. So we have most of our units at a really good tier in terms of my Graveborn side. So I'm gonna go with a Graveborn factional talent right here. Okay, so this is it. Okay, we're gonna put, do I want to put Daimon in front? I think I kind of want to put Daimon at the back because I don't want him to die so easily. So we use twins, we took Shamira, and then we put Ludovic. Yeah, I think he's gonna be damn sick with his mom, to be honest. Cause right, the thing about Shamira is Shamira has a shielding ability. So like it's whenever allies HP or shield value lost reaches 50%. So this means that the shield value from Daimon can also contribute to it. And Shamira being so powerful should probably be like really good with this unit for sure. So let's take a look. Taking quite a fair bit of damage. Okay, twins got melted unfortunately. Shamira casts the ultimate. Okay. Ooh. Okay, the damage was not that big, so that's why I'll say like the shielding that was activated was not the biggest right here. So that's that. I think I'm a little bit over leveled, so let's take a look at what Daimon did. So Shamira took quite a bit of damage. I think Daimon didn't actually do much there. We try to put Daimon in front and see how tanky this unit actually is. So let's go. See whether or not he can survive the initial barrage. Oh? I think he's going to be really broken for PvE as well. Because if we do have that growling ability for him to stand in front, like if we have, okay, so let's just think about it this way. Shamira is really good, Bonnie is really good, then we have Ludovic for the sustain, and then as long as we have a way to keep Daimon alive to spam the growl, I think he's going to be quite insane for AFK stage push, because you have this continuous control right here. So right now at 1 copy, damage is actually looking not bad, to be really honest. This is 1 copy Daimon versus Bonnie at Supreme Plus EX10. Oh, okay. This guy looks promising, to be honest. Maybe we'll try him in the Dream Realm side, because I think he could really be an amazing damage dealing tank, to be really honest. Okay, so he got snapped down here. Pretty unfortunate. I tell you what we're gonna do is we're gonna take out Twins and then we're gonna put Fresto, right? So we want to see the damage side of things, and I want to see like how well he compares to like Bonnie as well as Shamira in terms of the damage distribution. So like he could be just a very good damage dealer as well, and then we have to sort of put another tank to protect him. That's why it was recommended to put a Callan with him, right? Because Callan has a massive shield at the start of battle, which could easily absorb damage for him and then allow him to build up his skill and then just burn the enemy. So one thing about him being a good damage dealer is that he's actually really tanky, right? So in situations where you need him to actually survive and then do damage, he could definitely perform right here. So right here, all the units got swept down by Torrent, unfortunately. So that's pretty much it, I think, in terms of the showcase, because 1 copy of this unit, I think, would be more for the body barrier. I think this part for that buff itself, because it's just a flat out 25% buff. I think this is what we can do, right? We can put it, okay, we can do this, right? So we can buff up Ludovic as well. So this will give us more regen, for example, right? So let's give this a try and see how it goes. So right here, even though he doesn't have that much stats for damage output, we can use him as a very simple utility unit for those additional shields as well as the attack and life drain buff, which is going to be really helpful, especially on really good damage dealers like Shamira, for example, because the more damage the unit deals, the more life drain the unit gets. So right here, we got snapped down by Torrent once again, unfortunately. So I think we have to find a way to deal with Torrent. So what we're going to do is maybe we're going to do an Iron Armors combo in front. So we're going to buff up Shamira with... yeah, we're going to buff up Shamira with Daimon. So we're going to use him more as a utility unit. And then we're going to use the Iron Armors pool to bring the enemies away. So let me find my Iron right here. Okay, so without further ado, let's start the battle. So we get this buff onto Shamira. Okay. So Daimon's door actually runs up. There is this range damage coming out from Daimon. Okay. So it gets a ultimate off on Shamira for a lot of damage with life drain, and then the door uses the ultimate for true damage and then additional shielding for the 2 weakest enemy. So I think Daimon definitely has a potential to be a really meta PvE unit. So in I'll say like in the next few moments, I'll see whether or not I can find a developed Daimon to showcase his sort of Supreme Plus potential with regards to the full kit. So he has, I'll say, like a mix of everything: damage, shielding, control, and this is a sign of a really powerful unit, to be really honest. Yeah, considering this unit is at 1 copy and the damage output is actually looking pretty decent, yeah, gonna be quite powerful. So let's go into the Dream Realm side and do a very simple damage comparison. Okay, so right here, this is the run for Thalassa today. So we ran Shamira with Bonnie in terms of the Graveborn damage dealer side, and I honestly think Daimon can actually be a really good like Dream Realm character because of the true damage potential, especially in the early to mid game where shielding is actually essential for survival. So he could actually replace certain defensive units and provide damage at the same time. So in this case, I think he's probably gonna replace Bonnie. So we're gonna compare his damage to Bonnie. So let's run through Daimon here. Okay, so we're gonna buff up the mom. As you guys can see, we get that green color aura below Shamira right here. And without further ado, let's showcase this battle. Okay, so right now this is a 1 copy Daimon. At 1 copy, we get the body barrier, which is some additional shielding, the ultimate with true damage as well as the barrier itself, with the second skill dealing damage based off the boss's max HP from time to time, which is pretty good, right? At 1 copy, I think the damage might not be so optimal because there's a cap in terms of the amount of damage you can do, but we shall see how the number looks like. So this is essentially what Daimon's going to do for the team. And especially with Shamira being really prominent in the early to mid game, I could definitely see the value of Daimon. Because like Daimon is just able to buff up Shamira and then at the same time providing those defensive shielding. Okay. And oh my god, this is actually looking insane. Cause my Bonnie team was only able to do 11 bill. We are close to 10 bill right here. There's a possibility that we hit the same amount of damage or even more. Oh my god. Is Daimon gonna be meta? Because it's just a 1 copy Daimon, guys. Oh my god. Oh, okay, we are close, guys. Oh my god, we just beat our own best, guys. Oh my god. Oh my god. Wow. Okay, so let's do a simple comparison. I honestly didn't expect that because my body is definitely way stronger if you take a look at the tier itself. Although Daimon has the charm ability, so everything is the same, right? The only difference is Daimon and Bonnie. So this is the damage distribution. Okay, Shamira dealt a little bit less, but over here our Shamira dealt a lot more, right? Daimon dealt less compared to Bonnie. But I think if the Daimon right now is at a higher tier, this unit would definitely do more damage. And the buff that he's able to provide with body barrier right here is, I'll say, the difference maker in terms of pushing the damage beyond a certain boundary. And looking at this boss itself, what I feel is if I were to pull him to the Supreme Plus tier with all the stats as well as the shielding that he's able to provide, we might be able to survive the full duration and just cross the boss on this run if I have him at Supreme Plus. So a really meta unit so far, at least based on first look on 1 copy. Really strong. He has a quality of a really good unit. So stay tuned for more testing on him later on, and I'll see you guys again in my next video. Bye guys.